A new policy paper from Pioneer Institute's Middle Cities Initiative calls for citizens and city officials to shift their approach from municipal benchmarking to one that recognizes meaningful differences within cities that may be lost in a broader comparison or statewide context. Municipal benchmarks for Massachusetts middle cities, a look at economic growth, looks specifically at the performance of 14 Massachusetts cities in regards to their economic growth. In Municipal Benchmarks for Massachusetts Middle Cities, a look at economic growth, author Ezra Haber-Glenn selects 3 different benchmarks: the percentage of vacant housing units, the median value of owner-occupied homes, and the accumulated value of commercial and industrial new growth in each city, and analyzes their change over time using a consistent methodology that is sensitive to both within-group performance trends and different starting points.
Pioneer's Middle Cities Initiative is really an effort to try and engage citizens, local business leaders, and political officials in a meaningful way. And we think the best way to do that is to have a conversation, have people come to the table and focus on data. Data doesn't lie. And we really try to focus on 4 service areas that we think are critical to the quality of life in these cities. You know, your schools, how well you're managing your money, safety of your streets, as well as, are you able to create jobs? And what we've done is we've asked Ezra Glenn to take a look at all the different performance metrics we pulled together on economic development in our cities and say, what are the best practices we can draw from that?
It's great to be living in a time with so much data available on cities. The trick, of course, is to figure out what it all means, to put these numbers into context that highlight both the broad patterns and the nuanced but meaningful differences. This report offers a way of looking at municipal performance over time that's both forgiving of the difficulties involved in middle cities and demanding in terms of continually raising expectations.
Some of the results laid out in this paper indicate, for example, that although Lawrence and Taunton perform worse in vacancy rates than the statewide prediction line, they are still noteworthy for outperforming their in-group expectation. Similarly, although the percentage of vacant units in Holyoke in 2006 to 2008 was high at 8.4%, it was significantly lower than the model's expectation, a predicted vacancy rate of 10.3%. According to the model presented in this paper, Lawrence and New Bedford were high performers in terms of actual 2006 to 2008 median housing values. Interestingly, these cities were also ranked highly in the vacancy rates, possibly indicating interrelated effects of housing markets and vacancies.
The challenges faced by cities may vary from one location to another, thereby biasing our results and potentially masking the true performance. The methodology we use attempts to be sensitive to this issue by pegging each benchmark to the community's own level at the start of the time frame. In other words, rather than comparing a given city to the state as a whole, or even to other middle cities, we can compare it first to itself, and then explore how these changes compares to the relative changes we see in other middle cities. With the Middle Cities Initiative, we're not interested in simply describing the current state of our cities, nor do we want to categorize them. We want to drive a conversation with businesses, citizens, nonprofits, and government officials on how we get high-quality services that will help revitalize these cities as part of the state's economic fabric.
This paper is the second in a series of 4 that Pioneer will release throughout 2010 in the context of the Middle Cities. Pioneer Institute is an independent, nonpartisan, privately funded research organization that seeks to change the intellectual climate in the Commonwealth by supporting scholarship that tests marked solutions against the conventional wisdom of more governmental involvement in Massachusetts public policy issues. Follow the link below to access our paper or visit us at www.pioneerinstitute.org.